Nordlinger left, promising to return that afternoon with his Mr. Spencer Gatshaw. In the meantime, Mary and I visited the police station. I did not think it a matter the law could help with officially, but I would not dream of facing Drake without first consulting my friend and sometime fellow investigator, Captain Scott F. Barnwell. The officers under the command of Captain Barnwell always enjoyed a visit by Mary. Entering the police station, 2 officers called her by name. She seemed conflicted as to which of the 2 gentlemen to visit first, when one of the competitors for Mary's attention held out a carved block of wood in the shape of a dog. It was a bribe she gladly accepted, which left the rebuffed officer pouting in jest. I nodded an appreciative gesture to the fellows and knocked on the captain's private office door. Through the closed door, I heard him coughing, and once he caught his breath, he bade me enter. Once my intent was made clear, the captain made a single and feeble attempt to dissuade me of my mission. Having been close friends for nearly 2 decades, he knew when I was resolute on a matter, and his attempt was perfunctory.
"You should remain here with your daughter and allow the police to handle this matter. I can contact the Wilmington—"
"No, Captain. Drake is a wanted man who has evaded the law all these many years. He is clever and will continue to live in the shadows unless I go to flush him out." The captain sighed and said,
"I'm worried for you, Carl."
But his mustache remained firm. "I fully intend to work with the lawkeepers upon my arrival."
"No, it's not that,"
said the captain, shaking his head and casting his gaze in a downward slant.
"Your wife's death has changed you. If you pursue this route, I do not think you will like what you discover."
I folded my arms but kept a hard stare at my friend. He, in turn, lifted his gaze to meet my eyes.
"You no longer go to the Agora," he continued. "You constantly shun your friends, even when their only desire is to help you. Most worrisome, I believe you have a greater interest in revenge than in seeking justice."
The captain took a deep breath and placed his gun on the desk blotter. He opened the top drawer of his desk and retrieved a handful of bullets. Glancing at that drawer, I saw a hypodermic syringe and a number of tiny, sealed glass bottles. It wasn't overly unusual to see medical devices in his room. He was captain of the police, after all. But seeing such an item in his desk drawer and not on a shelf made me wonder as to its function. He pushed a cartridge into a single chamber of his revolver and said,
"Carl, you may not like to admit it, but you are well liked by many around here, Mr. Nordlinger and myself being only a small representation."
He pushed another round into the next empty chamber.
"I agree. This is an opportunity, but you don't need to risk your—"
"I think he may be responsible for Anne. This stopped the captain's words and his actions. A few reflective seconds later, he suddenly broke the inaction and resumed feeding the chambers. He said nothing until it held 4 more rounds. With a gentle push of the palm of his hand, he swung the cylinder closed and lowered his head, staring at the weapon in his hand. By the lack of surprise or rebuttal, I suspected the captain had also harbored such suspicions. The captain raised his eyes, his mustache remaining firm. I expected a rebuttal. I expected the stern rebuke of a man who knew my mission was folly. Instead, he said,
"We'll leave tomorrow,"
and placed his gun back on his desk.